What's up? It's Dynast. Before I get started, as always, after this video, please go to www.dynastamir.com. Check out our indigenous African fashion, jewelry, attire, accessories. Please check it out. Go to searchforwho.com. Please donate, contribute towards our documentary that we're going to be shooting here shortly. And then also, please go to Amazon.com and search the name Dynast Amir. Buy a children's book for your nephews, cousins, nieces, whomever. Buy a children's book. The reason why I'm shooting this video, wanted to shoot this video today, was to, give some insight on Dynast Amir, the line, the brand. I would say the main motivation behind it is that when I traveled throughout Africa, I've been to Kenya, Tanzania, Mali, Senegal, Ethiopia, South Africa, Namibia. I think those are all the countries I've been to. The level of talent I see from the art that comes from the indigenous tribes, the Maasai, the Himba, the Dogon, the Zulu, etc. And then, the talent I see from the designers in Africa, specifically Senegal. And I tell people this: Senegal and Mali have the most talented artists and fashion designers on the planet. And I will challenge anybody on that. So what I wanted to do is, because they don't have a platform really to offer their talent to the world, I wanted to create a platform, which is dynastamir.com, which will be for the indigenous tribes of Africa, and then my talented artists and fashion designers in Africa to, market and sell their products on my site. And I think this is something unique because no one has done this before. Now you might go to Etsy and you might see someone selling, some Maasai items or some Zulu items, or some Ankara or kente cloth inspired items. But what I've noticed about people, really African peoples, is that they don't really travel throughout Africa. So I have Kenyan friends that have only been to like Tanzania, and that's it. That's the only other country they've been to in Africa. So they haven't really experienced the tribes or the other products or whatever that they have to offer, or they haven't really seen or experienced the talent that all these other African countries have to offer. So I've made it, I guess, a goal of mine or objective of mine is to travel and see all 54 countries in Africa, visit as many tribes as possible, and whatever talent they have that they want to share with the world, as far as art and jewelry and clothing, I'm gonna make it available on dynastamir.com. And I think part of the reason why that our talent and our art and our ingenuity isn't, I guess, being offered really on a global scale like they do with the what comes out of Europe, is really twofold. Number one, we don't have the platform. No one really has a platform for it. That's why I'm creating it. And then number two, I think as African people, as black people, we don't hold our own ingenuity and our own talent. We don't have, I guess, we don't have the same respect or reverence for it, or we don't hold the same value for it like we do, with our European counterparts or European designers. I'll give you an example. I was watching this shorter documentary last night called From Lagos to London, and it told the story of the super rich and from Nigeria that I guess have second homes in London. And it's just the excitement they had when they were, buying $5,000 Louis Vuitton purses, $5,000 Hermes and Prada and Dolce & Gabbana jewelry and clothing and, everything else. I don't see that same excitement when it comes to our, to indigenous African attire. The excitement that, Africans will have, when they go to Rodeo. Oh my God, I'm on Rodeo Drive. I'm at Soho and I'm shopping. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm spending, $50,000 on this and $20,000 on this. We don't place that same value on our own talent, our own homegrown talent in Africa. So for many, they're filled with excitement when they go to Rodeo Drive. For me, I'm excited when I go to Kassarian and I can buy Maasai items, or when I go to Senegal and I get my kafitans in Dakar handmade. Like, I'm excited when I see that, and I hold more value for that than I do for anything on Rodeo Drive or anything in Soho. I think Soho's in London, I'm not sure. I hold more value for what I buy in Africa, and Africans have to start doing that. And also too, I don't understand why you would want to buy and spend in an industry that has been historically racist towards black people, that refuse to let us walk in their shows in Fashion Week, that refuse to, for the most part, allow us to be the faces of their, of their clothing lines and their jewelry lines, or etc. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Just the excitement that, a lot of these Nigerians had in London. Like, we have to even be more excited for our own homegrown talent, indigenous talent in Africa. Because again, I would place the art and the fashion and the artisans, the jewelry that comes from these indigenous tribes, like the Dogon and that are on DynastAmir.com, the Dogon and Maasai. I would place that against anybody on a planet. We can compete against anybody, and I would say our products are much better, and they look better, and are way more fashionable any day of the week. So support our indigenous tribes, buy their fashion, buy their jewelry, because in my honest opinion, it looks way better than anything that's being offered anywhere else on this planet, coming straight out of Africa. And I'll leave you with this story. When the English, when they colonialized Benin City, which is in present-day Nigeria, they noticed the Benin statues. And for the life of them, they could not, because at that time, and even to this day, they think or thought that Africans were just inferior, and there's no way that these inferior people can create these statues. It was even to the point that they lied and said that people from the lost city of Atlantis came to Benin City and created these statues, and they're not, and black people, the African people of Benin City did not create these statues. They even admitted, these are British or French or British. They even admitted that what the statues that came out of Benin were superior than the stuff that was coming from the Renaissance of Italy and from Greek, from these Michelangelo and Raphael and all these Italian artists. They admitted that, but they just refused to give us credit because they're like, black people are inferior. There's no way they could do that. But we did it. That's why that's the reason why the majority of African art gets stolen, that was stolen during colonialism, that's in, British and French museums. That's part of the reason why they refuse to give it back, because they're not going to find anything like that on the planet. So when we hold what's ours with that much value, we'll take over the fashion world, and we won't care about walking in, Paris Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week and London Fashion Week. We'll have our own fashion week. So with our own homemade indigenous African attire, clothing, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Once you go to Africa, you'll understand one day. You'll understand once you start traveling. So with that being said, go to www.dynastyamir.com. Support, because Dynast Amir is Africa personified, and Africa personified is the personification of African and indigenous African art, fashion, jewelry, attire, etc. So check us out. Go check it out. Also go to my Instagram, Dynast Amir for the clothing line, and Amir Dynast for the personal. Go to Twitter. My personal is Amir Dynasty. Clothing line is Dynast Amir. Go to Facebook, Dynast Amir. I'm out. www.dynastamir.com. Africa Personified. I'm out.